Thanks for clicking on this review today, guys. We're about to get into the John Mayer album, but if you're able to, help me out on Patreon. It's the top link in the description down below because ads on YouTube are pretty much gone. And this is maybe about to turn into a fan-funded show. I need you guys more than ever right now, so if you're able to support, click that top link. What's up everyone, John from ARTV. It's time for a review of album number 7 by Mr. John Mayer. This one is called The Search for Everything, and it was preceded by a couple of EPs, the Wave 1, the Wave 2 EP. And if I could, just for a minute, before we get into the actual content of this review, might I rant for just a second. John Mayer talked about how he had so many songs, just a plethora of songs. It's too much for a normal studio album. I've got so much material that I'm gonna have to release it in waves throughout the year. So we see Wave 1, and that has 4 songs on it. Wave 2 does as well, and we got the lead single, Love on the Weekend, which I like the song, and I was like, okay, if he's really got so much material leading up to the full release of everything, I assume this is going to be like a 3LP edition or something like that, well, then that's fine. So I see the Wave 1 and I was like, you know, I'm just going to leave it at listening to the single. I don't care for all these waves. I don't really care for the idea, but I'm just going to wait and see what he does on the full project. And then, after those two, I guess, underperformed according to Columbia Records and probably John Mayer himself, he was like, well, I guess it's time to roll out the entire Search for Everything project. And I was expecting maybe like, oh, I don't know, a 20 song, 25, 30 song announcement, because too much for a standard album would imply that you have more than like 17 tracks, I would say. More than like what appears on maybe even a regular deluxe edition of a record. 20 songs is the tops that you ever see really on a regular album. So how many songs was it, John? Was it 40? Was it 50? It is 12 songs. John Mayer, if 12 songs is more than enough for a regular studio album, then what exactly is a regular studio album that you're listening to? Is it like 2 songs or some shit? Because this is a standard edition of a record. 43 minutes, 12 songs. You could not get any more regular album format than this. Hell, his past couple of records have been longer than that. Anyways, on to the review at hand today, The Search for Everything, the full album, Wave 3 if you will. And 8 out of 12 of these songs had already been released. I mean, I had only heard the one, like I said, the lead single, but most fans had access to 8 out of 12 songs, so this full project isn't really that new to, I think, a lot of people, at least his hardcore fans. And out of those 4 brand new songs that you're getting on the final wave here, one of them is just the theme for Search for Everything, which is kind of strange. It's a short, less than 2-minute track with no vocals on it other than some kind of backing vocals. I think it's cool, but honestly, I do feel like some fans are going to be pissed off about the fact that they're getting so little content from him. John Mayer comes through with some of the best pop rock albums of the 2000s in my opinion. I've been a fan for a while, and I don't want you guys to think that this is going to be like a negative review overall. I do like this project. In fact, I feel like it's a step up from Paradise Valley and Born and Raised. Not in all ways. I think the songwriting was very sharp on Born and Raised in particular. Paradise Valley just wandered, although I Will Be Found, Lost at Sea, fantastic jam. One of my favorite John Mayer songs. If you guys would be interested in seeing a top 10 John Mayer from me, let me know in the comments. What a lot of people just don't understand is that John Mayer is one of the most talented guitarists of this century. He really shreds, and he does hold back way too often. I hate that. Continuum really, I think, is his best record. If you're looking to something kind of bluesy, with something with a lot of rock dynamic, then you need to look to that record. That's his best in my opinion. It's one of my favorite records of the 2000s. Even Battle Studies, the album that followed that 4 years later in 2009, I think that is a really solidifying record for him and one that really just perfectly kind of rounds out his discography up to that point, showing that he's a very versatile artist. And then he came back with a couple of kind of bluesy records. He had moved out to Montana, was just out in the open, but finally here with The Search for Everything, he's getting back to his pop rock roots. Just kind of soft rock, smooth songs, a lot of love, a lot of heart, a lot of emotion tied in here, and even though the emotions run high on a lot of these tracks and it really pays off, sometimes it just kind of flatlines. Somewhere across the line he kind of dropped the ball, and I lose interest in some of the moments. But that being said, there are some fantastic ones here that I really want to talk about. What John Mayer did right is getting back to the basics and his core of songwriting, knowing what made him popular in the first place, but not just doing a total runaround the same themes, he actually built upon them in places. And I think that the best song that we have here, the one that really showcases everything, is In the Blood. Maybe it's not my personal favorite on this record, but I really look to that one as kind of like the focal point of this, for the search for everything. Why does this album work for the most part? And songs like that are the reason why. He talks about family, he talks about just growing older, growing more mature, wiser, learning from experiences in life, and the vocals on it are so soothing. The guitar is smooth. It's kind of something that's a little bit more nuanced with the instrumentation. I like the light drums on this one. It fits for like a coffee shop Sunday type of day, and I enjoy that vibe. I think it's fantastic. The lyrics on it are great, and it's something that I think any John Mayer fan will appreciate. But as far as personal favorites for me go, I think Emoji of a Wave. Worst song title ever, but best song on the album. I looked to that and I saw it in the track listing and I was like, Jesus, John, is this what we've come to? But then I actually listened to the song and I think I had some waves rolling out of my eyes. This one cuts emotionally, and he's basically saying, honey, hold on, we're gonna get through this time, you're gonna get through this time. He wants to be there for this person, and he's saying, it's just a wave, it's just a wave. Hold on, this is a fleeting notion, this is a fleeting passing of time, and this feeling that you're having right now, it's not forever. And it's very uplifting. The instrumental is sad, it kind of tears into you. The backing vocals are very visceral, fantastic, kind of ethereal, and even though it is just kind of like a pop rock song at the surface, there is so much more to it, and I absolutely love that. There's kind of a pep to some of these tracks that do kind of get me into them, but they don't totally win me over, like Never on the Day You Leave. That one just feels like a little bit lengthy somehow. It starts off, it's got a lot of promise, and then as it goes on, it's not that it's that long, it's just the fact that the idea gets tired, and that's what I can kind of describe for the search for everything. It's just like some of these moments do wear thin on your patience, and that's why I don't think the replay factor for this record is going to be all that good, especially kind of on the final moments here. There's some ones like Roll It On Home that definitely feel more folky, more bluesy, and not that that's bad by any means, it just, the idea doesn't feel that fresh. It feels like his creativity wore out a little bit. And if this is only 12 songs out of God knows how many he wrote, then that's not exactly showing good signs for the other songs that maybe didn't make it. If these are the ones that he selected to actually be on the track listings, the one that was that important to him. But on the other hand, I have to hand it to him, Love on the Weekend was a great song, as well as Changing. That's one that really just exploded with the guitar solo. It's so good. I know it's maybe not the most nuanced or crazy or technical guitar solo out there, but it fits the vibe of the song perfectly, and I love that. Whenever I listen to John Mayer and I want to hear him shred, I look to songs like this because it is very smooth, it's ambient, and it's something where you really just hone in on that guitar, it gets the spotlight, and it makes the song all that much more better. I love Changing as a whole, but this really just sent it over the moon for me. The theme from The Search for Everything is another one that I'm enjoying. It's just kind of a nice vibe that kind of splits up the record, and while I don't care for a lot of the songs that come after that all that much, Rosie is one that works its way in there and kind of has me conflicted, but overall, like I said, the last part of this record, minus the last song that we're gonna talk about, it just kind of feels like the weakest element and the part of the equation to me. But that all changes with the very final song, which is giving me some weird vibes, You're Gonna Live Forever in Me. I know this sounds strange, and I don't know why I'm getting this perspective on the track, but I feel like You're Gonna Live Forever in Me could have fit in Toy Story's soundtrack. I don't know why, one of the movies, just, it feels like a film soundtrack to begin with. His vocals are so soft, and they're very emotional. I like the pianos on this track. It's simplistic, but it's kind of gorgeous at the same time. And whenever I look to the lyrics, it's talking about just, I think, a relationship here. John being happy for someone that he used to date. Maybe now they're getting married, and he's still saying, I'm gonna hold my peace because a part of you is always gonna live in me. I'm always gonna hold on to those memories. But the majority of the song until that final act is kind of just, it's up for grabs as to what it could be about. And the song seems like it's talking to somebody who, it was a big part of their life at one time, like You're Gonna Live Forever in Me. And I don't know why, I picture like Andy singing this to the toys. Is that like the weirdest thing ever? While some of the moments do kind of get lost in the mix, from Helpless to Moving On and Getting Older, I like aspects of them, and it's not that a lot of these songs are bad by any means, it's just that some of them are more forgettable than others. Overall, I did enjoy The Search for Everything, and I'm gonna give this a strong 3, maybe even a light 3.5. The only reason why I'm hesitant to give it a 3.5 is because I know myself and I know listeners in general, and I really don't feel like this is gonna be one of those full albums that you just have to come back to. Let me know your thoughts on it in the comments section down below. Leave a like on the video, and of course, let me know what other albums you'd like to see me cover in the coming weeks. If you're able to, help me out on Patreon. The ads are gone on YouTube, so this is about to become a fan-funded show, it seems like. It's the link over there, or else the top link in the description. You can click right here to see another John Mayer review, or right here for a recent review right here on ARTV. Other than that, yeah, I'll see you guys very soon.